September the 8th, 2016. I'm Dana Durnford, your host, a nuclear proctologist.org. Looks like we got a big tilt in the camera to start the day off with. Just 1 second, folks. Right closer. It always takes us a few minutes to get the live streams up and running. A bit of noise coming up. Oh, that wasn't so bad. There we go. So we got a busy stream for everybody today. We see a former prime minister of Japan has come out and said Abe's a lawyer and a lawyer and a lawyer. And then we see everybody pop that out there. Very good. Very good. So that's the HDMI camera. That's my big head in a picture. Or that's the that camera. That's why it looks funny to me today. I'm supposed to be hair. At least that one's straight now, right? Okay, always takes us a few minutes. Let me fix that color. Looks like I got a big, who knows what. Anyway, here we go. We're into it. We're rocking. We're rolling. How is everybody this morning? Good morning, everybody. You're there, not here. You're over there, mister. We'll find you. Oh, yeah, you're over here. There we go. 15 is Firefox. We got those headlines up there for you. Hi, good morning, everybody. And yesterday was a rough day on me. I slept all day, all night. I was awake. Early this morning, went back to bed. Pain in the guts last night, big time. I'm doing good this morning. Daniel, fix it. Elaine. And Amthurst, be strong. Hi, good morning, everybody. Fix it. We just like to start off some mornings by saying hi to everybody. Sometimes it takes me a few moments to wrap my mind. There's so much work to get up and get streaming each time. Nobleness, it's okay, though. Don't worry about it. It's not an issue, not a problem. It's not a headache in that context. Kiss. And everybody, yeah, no, I hear you. Thanks, Elaine. And everybody, I'm just saying that I know yesterday I didn't stream and still feeling like off this morning, but it wasn't like yesterday or last night. So here we go. Let's get that stream rolling. And so the former prime minister, which reminds me, the former prime minister, there's a fundraiser set for Yankee activists. Somebody went and took a picture of a nuclear power plant. They flipped out and lost their minds and had them arrested. Like everybody else has ever been arrested, they were released and not charged after. Because they don't want a big stink showing up in the media and people getting outrageous because a nuclear power plant is constantly imprisoning, which is what you do. They don't get charged for false imprisonment. Dead plant society, lobby groups become booms as reactors closing. So this is, how does this go again? This is an interesting one where they lobby. I can't even remember where it's going now. But anyway, I didn't like that at all. I didn't like the people in it. I didn't like nothing about them. And it worries me when I see stuff like that. Former Japan premier accuses Abe of a lie. Whoa, boy, you'll say a lie. We say a whopper, a huge whopper. And that's just the point. The former prime minister blasted. Right? They don't put that up there in the headline. They says accuses. They should go blasted Abe for lying. And the lies are endless, as we cover here constantly. Let's go over and explain about what Fukushima implications and impacts. I can bring up another screen sometimes. How's that for the morning? I haven't got the Geiger counter on here. Oh, Mr. Geiger, where are you supposed to be? Oh, Geiger counter's warming up. In Germany, they would pack each nuclear waste at 5 becquerels, 5 counts per minute. And this is what you're going to see today is counts per minute. In France, pre-Fukushima, the same day as Fukushima, they were packaging nuclear waste to 17 becquerels. And right now you see 0 on the Geiger counter. You got to let it warm up. It'll start boogieing in a little tiny bit, just like we're going to do now. U.S. Navy Vice Admiral. U.S. Navy Vice Admiral. Let's bring that up. U.S. Navy Vice Admiral, 1,500 microsieverts. Y'all make 1,500. My goodness, some people get all the luck. Bad luck, that is. 1,500 times 150 counts per minute for each microsievert. 225,000 counts per minute. My Geiger counter is showing a cool none. Whatever that's all about. Not plugged in or something. Okay, so 225, I'll fix that in a second. 225,000 becquerels. And you only, how many becquerels do you need to get sick? 1. 1. Not two, but 1. You know, 1, that's the first thing you learn in school, yeah? TEPCO to begin coating seafloor with cement mixture. Well, they're worried about terrorists coming up, and they want to make sure they got a nice platform there for them to get in and steal some of that stuff. See, that makes more sense than what they're actually doing it for. They're doing it because the buildings, I know this is going to come as a shock for anybody that's not familiar, blew up. Yeah? You know, bluey uppy thingy, right? There it is, a bluey uppy thingy. See? That's why they're coating the seafloor with cement mixtures. They're coating it because it went boom all the way up in the air, and then the reactors are right on the ocean, as you can see when the ocean was running through it. Okay, remember they cleaned up 30 million one-ton bags. How many bags you got to clean up after a coal power plant and store for millions of years again? How many bags have you got to clean up after oil plant fire? And how many square miles do you got permanently contaminated till the end of time because of a coal plant or an oil plant or whatever? But if you have a single nuclear reactor, no matter where it's to, 30 million bags is nothing. That's nothing. It really is not. So that camera versus this camera, you can see the difference in the color, right? The HDMI, yeah, that color's not realistic. You're not a very good example, buddy. But yeah, you need that for the green screen anyway. That Geiger counter. Hang on. What's your problem? Battery? So I'm setting. Ooh, 167, 176. Well, that's a microsiever. A unisiever. Let's keep going. Dan, stop making shit loud like that, Dina. You should have heard a couple of months ago. You think that was loud. Let's keep going. TEPCO. TEPCO coating seafloor with cement mixtures, but there's no releases, Dana. Yeah, but they got 30 million bags. There's no releases, Dana. Okay. Researchers found cesium-137 50 million times above normal. Germany packs its food away at 5 becquerels, not 50 million times 5 becquerels, which is not normal, by the way. Nothing's normal. Anything normal is because they got radioactive leaks. They can't contain them everywhere, so they up the normal levels. That's what normal is, right? It's calibrated up on weapons testing, up on nuclear accidents, up on missiles that blew up and they didn't tell you about, but we found out about some of it. Government dumping radioactive material right into Tokyo Bay. But they're not going to do that no more. They take it to an incinerator now and they burn it. And then it comes, and so you liberate the isotopes is all you're doing. I'm going to have a cigarette. Yummy cigarettes. And my cigarettes don't have 7,000 chemicals. I just got to fix that, maybe. Everything's giving me a hard time. Let's keep going. That's why I like it. I like it a little rough in the morning. Like bad coffee, rough kind of thing. Government dumping radioactive contaminated seaweed found in area. Whoa, contaminated everything till the end of time. It doesn't dilute, it dissipates out and becomes, infects everything. Nuclear industry insider, Fukushima spent fuel was damaged and released fission products. Yeah. Nuclear industry, Fukushima spent fuel pool was damaged. Does everybody agree that looks like it's damaged? Kind of like my green screen is freaking damaged today. Does that look damaged to you? I don't see any damage. That's Al Qaeda shit saying that is damaged. What the frick is wrong with people? Does that look damaged to you? You see that yellow big bulb there with all the bolts like loose, rusted, and twisted on it? Do you know why it looks like that? Huh? Do you? Huh? Do you? Huh? Do you? Looks like that because that little yellow bulb on the side was supposed to be in the top center, on the top of the reactor. And parts of the reactor are right alongside of it. That's why they didn't clean it up, because that stuff is so scary looking stuff you're looking at. That's the most frightening thing imaginable. But of course, you claim it looks like that, right? Because your people out there are not gonna. Hang on, double checks. We're doing a series of videos on carving. I gotta send them a quick one. I gotta remind them that I'll remind them today not to text me 10:30, 11:30, because I'm streaming. But whatever. He's carving 2 eagles, 6-foot eagles, and 3 bears, a mother and 2 cubs. And the 2 eagles are buzzing the 2 cubs. And then he's got an extra piece of wood. That's a 3rd cub. And it stands off by itself close by. But it's pretty neat carving anyway. Let's keep going. So they say it looks like that inside of this, right? Seth Dorn's done it. We got 7 journalists that claimed they were inside the building, just like Seth Dorn.
Of the decommissioning work taking place here in Reactor 4.
At the end of our tour, we were checked for radiation exposure in 4 hours.
Okay. Let's come back over. So these people are all claiming they're inside of a building that don't exist. It's so important that everybody understands the significance of that. Nuclear industry insider, Fukushima spent fuel pool was damaged and released fission products leading to a fire. Yeah, as we showed you, right? Yeah, big fire, everything gone a long time. The building was much higher, etc., etc., etc. And radioactive plankton is so heavily contaminated in the Pacific Ocean, the food chain fears. That was 2011, October 15th. But what we discovered on the Fukushima Expeditions for Life, we've done 5 of them, 15,000 miles of the coastline over 260 days. Having a rough morning, Dana? Yeah? Yeah, kind of having a rough morning. Let's go back to that one. Here we go. Let's keep going. No radiation levels that would directly cause seals' deaths. No, just the missing food. That would cause the seals' death because the seals are way up the food chain. Like, you're not going to die, just not everybody, but some people will have heart attacks, say, and stuff like that. So they will drop dead from radiation. Yes. The sailors on the USS Ronald Reagan, I was going to go Wagon. USS Ronald Reagan. Ronald. You got to say both of them. Instead of saying R, you got to say dull, right? But Ronald Reagan. Not too bad. As scientists find no radiation, cesium levels, blah, blah, blah. Scientists find no radiation because they're looking for cesium. They're not looking for uranium, plutonium, which is what the reactors run on, or the thousands of known byproducts, because cesium is the one they can find. But Dolly just says they didn't find it. But they found silver in fish. That comes from a chain reaction because it doesn't have a long half-life, like 60 days or something. 8 months later, plutonium test results still pending. Researchers compare Fukushima radiation to potassium. from near nuclear connected university. So, like a university that has nuclear power shouldn't be allowed to comment on a nuclear accident. And a lobbyist shouldn't be allowed to exist anyway. I'll get my rhythm here in a while. 4,000 becquerels cesium detected in ocean waters at least 30 kilometers from Fukushima. Close coast. Government IAEA, that monitor radioactive substances. 7,000 kilometers from Fukushima and the seas off Sri Lanka. The ocean currents come right across to North America, not Sri Lanka. The jet streams go right across to North America, not Sri Lanka. Radioactive plume map shows Fukushima contamination heading towards Hawaii. And what was the date on this? March the 16th. And look at the plume. And so the jet streams have long since gone past Hawaii. Hawaii's right where my finger should be. Kind of. It disappears there. And you see the little islands there? Moving towards Hawaii. North America's up there at the top of the screen. I got the camera tilted too much. Can't fix it unless I get up and fix it. And I'm not getting up because I already been up and I'm going to have to get up again. You what? California fish harm with Fukushima radiation. Thyroid sensitive to the iodine. No. Radioactive material probably accumulated in all the fishies. Well, I'm not going to do it right now, but I can show you all the pictures of the extinction event on the coastline of Canada that we took. You can see them up at the nuclearproctologist.org. And we spent 260 days, 15,000 miles doing a coastline. That's free for everybody who want to make a documentary with it. You can monitorize if you need my signature so you can use it that way because that's what you feel is necessary. You contact me, we'll get that to you. We'll do whatever it takes for you to be able to use that material in your documentaries and monitorize it. I don't want nothing out of it. Up to 1 billion becquerels a kilogram of iodine-131. There's 10 times more 132, 30 times more 133 ratios created. And these ionize and radiate your thyroid glands 9 times more effectively than the 131. There is 31 times more iodine-129 created in the chain reaction. We know in British Columbia, we had 220 million becquerels of iodine-129 in a liter of rainwater over Vancouver, Victoria, British Columbia, Canada, Nanaimo, Canada, British Columbia. And so what I'm saying is the rain doesn't fall by the liters and it doesn't fall in one places. And that is the ecosystem that we hear on the British Columbia coastline. It's a tropical coastline. We're used to heavy rains. Tofino might rain 30 days out of 30 days in the wintertime. And we're talking like biblical rain. I killed 4 cats during 2 months on my foot. I broke 4 toes out on the ocean. Good times, man. Good times. USGC issues announcements about polar bears with ooze and sores and hair loss in Alaska. Government testing for radiation. 3 out of 4 captured. So this is back in April 2000, reported, 2012. All this is mainstream media. NOAA is not mainstream media. It's your government in America. But no, Dana, this is not true, Dana. Don't believe NOAA, Dana. Believe the lobbyists. Believe the PR firms. Believe the nuclear dummies, the nuclear idiots, the nuclear moron machine. Hang on. That cushion, that's $500. I can't live without it. Well, I can because I got one for $1,000, but I can't live without them. One of them. This one is big. 10 years old. It's a pressure relief. Can't live my life without a pressure relief underneath me at all times, it seems. And vehicles are difficult for me, but I'm able to do it. But it took a number of years before I can drive in a vehicle again. It was like 12 years before I can ride in a vehicle at all. I had a Class 1 driver's license when I got injured. That was for moving boats, but it was a transport truck driver's license, right? I moved big boats around big boats. And I was just quicker to pick them up and move them 600 miles up the coastline than it is to try to get the crap kicked at you in 60-mile-an-hour winds on the ocean. You better pick it up and move the whole operation. And I've done every industry in both oceans, 14,000 hours underwater. When I left the East Coast, I had 30,000 hooks and 120 gills. It's not like I'm gullible or naive. We've done 260 days on this coastline on the Fukushima expeditions and 15,000 miles. And I have an unblemished history on the ocean, untarnished. And I doubt highly anybody in Canada has the career history that I had. So many industries and so many top positions. And sometimes you got to brag, because if you don't, no one will ever understand it. It's not bragging, it's telling it like it is I'm not just some random person is what I'm trying to. Tsunami debris might be contaminated, says Noah. No, Dana, there's no radiation in the tsunami debris. That's why we cleaned it all up on the entire coastline in Canada. They paid for the radiation, but they wouldn't pay for monitoring. They wouldn't pay for Geiger counter. They took them all down throughout the whole coastline. They paid unbelievable amount of money for people to clean up the coastline of British Columbia for the last 5 years. Every garbage bag in every community has been bought by these people. All those little outports, they contact the local shops, call them up and ask them who buys all the garbage bags in their community. They'll tell you, the people that are cleaning up the tsunami debris. They get all kinds of calls to go in and clean up because the government's up there flying along the coastline, finding it and telling them where to go. They're going in and inspecting it, seeing the radiation, and giving them big money to go in, but they don't understand it's radiated, see? Radiation might be detected in U.S. waters. Might be. Congress. But your Congress is the stupidest thing imaginable. They're lobbyists. They're bombarded all the time with lobbyists. They are lobbyists. Absolutely every one of the bluefin tuna are contaminated. Who cares? They're way up the food chain. Of course they're contaminated. All the whales are going to have 1,000 becquerels a kilogram. The seals are emaciated and starving to death. The birds starve to death because all the fish have already died off. But the bluefin are way up the food chain. The whales are way up the food chain, even though they starved to death. They didn't die from the radiation. Whales could die from radiation, say, down the road, but like fish don't live 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years and get cancers. But there's 1,800 illnesses and diseases. It kills their sperm. It destroys their organs. There's many things that are going on, but they don't get cancer. Fukushima radiation is still circling the globe. And allegedly the levels are consistent. Yeah, I mean, these are truths, half-truths, truths of half-truths. Cesium remains dispersed throughout the water column from the surface to the ocean floor. Right, just like a snowstorm. That's how you think of radiation in the ocean as a snowstorm on land, where it's all the way up, right? And everywhere you go, excuse me. Well, when it goes in the ocean, it's falling out of the atmosphere like a snowstorm, and it goes all the way to the ocean floor. Now, how the ocean works is the cold water on the ocean floor is where the coldest water is too, because of the depth and compression. And so where that water is too, and it has the most oxygen, that water and nutrients, and those nutrients are brought up to the surface with the cold water. That is the circulation of the ocean. Because those nutrients, the radioactive isotopes are smaller, much smaller than the nutrients. And so a lot of that radioactive material with sulfur peroxide, hydrogen buckyballs. My cigarettes don't got 7,000 chemicals. See, that should be your first reason to listen to me and pay attention, because you didn't know it. If you don't know this stuff. Wait a second, the government said cigarettes were okay, and then they come out and said nicotine would give you cancer. Yeah, but they didn't tell you about the 7,000 chemicals, and the nicotine has never gave you cancer, and they can't find a study that I've looked for it, and I've done videos about it. I know. They've been trying for 40 or 50 years to link nicotine. They take nicotine. They don't take a cigarette and take the 7,000 chemicals out and then do studies on the nicotine. Yeah, we ran into that road again. Well, there you are. There's going to be one of those shows again. And if I switch it on, it's only supposed to stay on for 1 minute. We'll just play a game here now, see how long it stays on. I really want that camera to work. But you can't plug it in, and you can't. I can without. That's the damnest thing, eh? There you go. Keep going. Public health hazards from fish arise in California waters. If you eat the fish, say the fish only got one atom into it, even though it's probably got thousands, it'll magnify it 15, 20,000. So 15 or 20,000 magnification is enough to give 15 to 20,000 people a cancer in 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years if they all eat a little speck of a fish with an atom into it. If you divide that fish up into 20,000 lots and everybody took a piece and there was an atom in each piece, then that's 20,000 cancers in the future. But there's 1,800 diseases that are going to show up before the cancer. Like Alzheimer's, dementia, heart, liver, lung, respiratory, pituitary, adrenaline gland, thyroid. There's diabetes is the worst one. It'll show up in lots right away, rather. You know me, I enjoyed this. With 7,000 chemicals. Congressman, unknown how radioactive fallout in U.S. affect the marine environment. Man. That's not where I wanted to be, but that's where I am. No, this one. Hang on, bear with me. Did I go that one? I did. Okay. Let's try this again. Cool. Unknown how the radioactive congressman says. Sorry. Just click shit, Dana. Go ahead. Nobody cares. Congressman to the FDA, unknown how radioactive fallout in the U.S. affects marine environment, wants a listing of all instances of species found to have elevated levels. Well, shellfish will magnify it 100 to 120,000. That's enough to give 120,000 people cancer. What's it going to do to you if you get it inside you when only one atom is enough to give you a cancer? But the cancer takes decades usually to manifest, to get diagnosed, but all the diseases and illnesses and autoimmune deficiencies will show up, 1,800 of them that we know about. And we know how this stuff works. And if I don't show people, like Dana's showing shit, not showing people any evidence. Didn't say that it's deadly, but he don't show any freaking evidence. Well, I do all the time, and I got to all the time. Otherwise, people say shit like that to me. But if you look at Dr. Raymond Gilmetti's studies, curium is the biggest byproduct, not cesium or not iodine. They are just easy to find with the Geiger counters. And toxicity, now this man had done 94 studies on beagle dogs and beagle puppies. Curium acts like plutonium, by the way. And a study on 144 dogs, they all died. Lung, skeleton, liver, 3 years after exposure for a dog. So that's 21 years in humans. Bone tumors found in 93 dogs were the most common cause of death. Wait, what? Lung tumors found in 46 dogs were the second most common cause of death. Wait, what? Liver tumors were found in 20 dogs were the cause of death in only 2 dogs. What? Occur later than tumors in the bone and lung. What? See what? Tumors in these 3 organs. Yummy organ. Often occur in the same animal or competing causes of death. Did the dogs bark a lot? No, we cut the vocal cords out early. These finding dogs suggest that similar dose-related biological effects could be expected in humans accidentally exposed to plutonium-238. So don't be snorting it, for sure, because that's what the doggies were doing. So each animal was given 1 of 2 monodispersals. And what happened? Oh, they all died. For 70 friggin' years this happened in every study, millions of them, in every country. Yeah, but there's no evidence that radiation could hurt people, ain't it? I'm with the media, Danny. I'm with academic science. Yeah, well, I got studies. As you might want to see. Let's keep going. Not that we'll ever find our way back to where we were. We're long past finding our way back to that land. Well, look, I know where I'm supposed to be and where I'm not, where I could be and where I should be and where I wasn't and where I am. It don't really matter. No, look, all these bags, you know why they're cleaning up all them? Because not like a banana. Banana, Hannah. See, it's not like a banana. You don't put bananas in bags and store them for thousands of years. You don't put water in tanks and material in tanks and store them for millions of years at coal plants or oil plants or gas plants. No. You don't build 10,000 sites in your neighborhood to put the shit. No. You don't abandon the community because they had a coal plant break down or you don't have a friggin' drills to evacuate the community because of pole plants, right? Or pole plants. What the fuck's a pole plant, Dana? I don't know. I like it though. It's got good flavor. I like it a lot. Look at this. There's 10,000 of these dumps. Can you imagine a coal plant creating 10,000 dumps in every community? We'll never find our way back to where we were, unfortunately. I'm going to take a wild spin in the dark. Unknown how radioactive fallout in the U.S. affects marine life. Oh, yeah, we were talking about that one there. This model is only based upon 2 days' releases from a single reactor in Japan. It's not based upon the 4. Each reactor building in Japan has 6 reactor cores in it. Each reactor core. I licked my iPhone charger. Remember that dumb bitch at the whip? I'm not trying to be rude, she said. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm not trying to be outlandish or salacious. But I would get more radiation if I licked my iPhone charger's cord. That's what she said, right? My iPhone charger cord. We got it on video. We made videos about it and put it out there. I licked my iPhone charger. Was a big trendy topic around here for a long, long time. It still is sometimes. I licked my iPhone charger. Now if I go over to the comment section, I'm probably going to see that being repeated. Hello, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah. I'm Tucker, Spokman. Everything good. You go back, sleep, yeah? You go sleep now. Sleep. Long. Sleep. It's rocking. Okay, well, that's a long story. I'm not going to do it. Government test find plutonium fish caught off the Japanese coast. You know what? I show you why. You pay attention a long time, mister. See it coming out of Japan over in the left-hand corner? Do one more time. Baby, one more time. It's coming out of Japan right there. Now all of Japan is radiated. See, now all the Pacific Ocean, North America is radiated. See? Now the Atlantic and North Atlantic and South Atlantic is radiated in Europe. That model's only based upon a couple of days' releases over a couple of weeks. The clock ran out on the 25th of March. So it's less than 14-day model. But it never stopped coming out of there. Look at the model. It doesn't stop coming out of there. There's not just one plume coming out. What did I do this time, mister? Okay, try that again. Is this a single plume coming out? The date starts on the 13th. See the top of the screen? Accidenti Fukushima. This is France's model. Now watch over in Japan, over there. Oh, see that yellow crappy stuff come out? You deadly boy. That stopped all the watches on the boat by now. On the sailors, their digital watches all stopped. That's how much radiation hit them. That is over the top stuff, okay? You think the robots dying in the reactors is something new? The electronics die under heavy radiation bombardment? But watch the plume coming out. It never stops coming out, see? Watch that. Still coming out on the 15th, 17th, the 18th, the 19th, the 20th. Still hemorrhaging 21st, 22nd, 23rd. Still hemorrhaging 25th. Right now, the circle's right back by the 25th. Do you think it stopped 5 years later? You think that actually stopped? Huh? Do you get it yet? What we're talking about, the significance? Watch it again. It's coming out right above my head. It's Japan. It doesn't stop coming out. See that? Look at the dates up there. The 14th, the 15th, on the 16th. On the 17th is hitting North America, 17. Alaska's already getting boom now. Alaska, North America, Canada. Now America is totally almost enveloped. But the 20th, 21st is North America is not looking too pretty. By the 22nd, America is like, oh, shit. There's no potassium pills left. By the 24th, the Northern Hemisphere is done, is written off. By the 26th, the Atlantic now is under direct siege. It's still coming out of Japan over my head. It's still pouring out. See, it's not just a plume. See, even though the model's only based upon 2 days radiation. See? And you're too worried about Al-Qaeda, 10,000 people. Too busy killing millions, creating millions of refugees, orphans. Millions of orphans, 5 million just in Afghanistan. Firing 5.5 million rounds a month. Right, that's the distraction. They went to war in Syria when this happened. A couple of days later, they were in Syria beating the shit out of it, and there was a crisis and humanitarian, and every media was screaming, "Oh, poor Syria." Meanwhile, poor America, poor Canada, poor planet, poor ocean, poor 8 million other species don't got a say in anything. Let's do this one more time. There's another model. This is a different model. See, look how Japan right here, right alongside of me, is totally buried. It's totally buried. The entire country is totally buried, right? See it? The model doesn't show it, but how can you avoid it? Did the wind blow out to sea the whole fucking time? Is that what they're claiming? No. You got to use your own head to understand the significance of what we're talking about. Data showed a large spike in deaths, particularly infants, in 14 weeks. This is in North America. Canada had the same thing. They done studies on it. This was a heart attacks. The children had heart attacks. This wasn't like cancer. This was heart attacks. Inhaling just one radioactive hot particle, just one, can cause cancer. But the cancer takes a long time. And so that's Noah's model up there you're looking at, but you won't see it in TV. And when that hits your coastline, the numbers we're talking about 6 reactor cores in each building. Chernobyl was 1/3 the size of 30% meltdown, stopped after 10 days, allegedly. But Chernobyl was blown to pieces, trust me. Chernobyl wasn't what they're telling you. Chernobyl is much worse than what I'm telling you. I'm not even able to articulate it because they hid so much of it away. But using their models that they admit how bad it was, we can use that. So how do you avoid breathing in a hot particle? Right? So just 8% of the children. This is normally 3 out of a million. That's what it works out to. Now 13,600, not out of a million, but out of 40,000. And thyroid will show up long before the cancers show up. But because Japan was completely covered, look at the models all give Japan a break, but that's not really what happened. Look, China gets it now. Now all of Japan is completely covered. By the 25th, Japan is done. Even if they got away with it for that first little bit. That's not true. See? They got hammered endlessly. The wind doesn't just blow one way. It can blow one way. Like if you look at smoke, if you look at forest fires, really bad forest fires, and then the wind changes and everybody that lives downwind of that forest fire is like, fine, the wind changed. But the next day the wind can change again and from a different direction where the smoke was gone and blow that same smoke right back over to your community again. And pollution works that way. The pollution indexes show how that stuff will linger in certain areas of your country. And let's keep going. Tony Level suggests fuel rods were shattered. The fuel rods might have been shattered. Well, I got a hard time believing anything got shattered in that. And it looks pretty normal to me. Keep going. Lead scientists surprised by Japan's big heads. Fukushima plant still leaking radiation into the ocean. Just keep going. Fukushima seafood goes on sale in Tokyo. Fucking idiots, man. Just morons. Just the dumbest people imaginable. Just the stupidest shit. Just the most outrageous. If you done that here in North America, we'd gut you and hang you from the fucking stall down there. We found out you were doing that shit. Fuck you. Fukushima chief calls out, shit, when reactor number 1, 2, 3, 4 explodes. Number 3 was mixed oxide fuel. It's 4,500 times worse than all the other reactors combined on the planet for its lethality. There's a new word Dana made up. You can put that in Wiki anytime you want, folks. Yeah, baby, I got my own word finally. Life is complete. High quality started responding to he said he was going out to lunch. HQ started to respond. High quality. HQ started to respond as if he said. So he said, oh shit, man, Mayday. Fucking Mayday. So we got to go again. It's lunch break over here at TEPCO's main office. We get Sally and send you over some burgers after. We're going to get some lunches. They're probably like, dude, this is a bummer, man. But he's over the scenes like Mayday. Freaking drama queens. Fukushima explosion could have actually blown holes through the containment vessel. Harvard. Blow holes through the containment vessel. Sometimes I just want to scratch my eyeballs right at the side of my fucking head. Let's see. This is Unit 3. 10-second comparison. The reactor, you see where the reactor is by me. These are my fairly good depictions. Do you think that reactor's still over there? That it could have, might have, should have, did it? Oh, we never know. Timmy, it could have, yeah. But geez, why not show us a picture? Hear them all saying why number four is the most dangerous one, right? None of them tells you why, though. What makes it so dangerous? Number 3, see, was the most dangerous thing imaginable. It was 2 million times worse than any other reactor on the planet. 4,500 times worse than all the reactors on the planet combined. So they blew up this story about number 4, right? All right, number 4 goes, man. Bye-bye, Japan. Evacuate North America. You want to hear it? Do you want to hear it? Because I play it all the time. Not today, though. Underground cesium near Fukushima reactor increases the deeper the sample gets. Oh. Other locations tested are much different with higher reactivity on top. 10 types of Fukushima food that go on sale. Crab, squid, stupid, morons. This is because fishermen are fucking idiots in Japan. Literally idiots. The stupidest of the stupidest. Yeah, but like I had 30,000 hooks and 120 gill nets. They closed the industry with one payment left on the boat. Still closed on the East Coast. I lost everything in the stroke of a fucking pen, along with everybody else in that province. 2 million other people. So you could afford not to fuck over everybody. But if we had a cottage, we weren't going to poison anybody. You're going to kill everybody, eat your fucking product. You're bitching and whining and sniveling instead of holding TEPCO accountable. Oh, it's okay. If they let it back in the ocean, then it's okay to go fishing too, see? Greedy fucks. The fishermen in Japan are just stupid morons. Fucking idiots in Japan. The fishermen are the stupidest fucking people on the planet in Japan. They literally are. They're going to go and feed people that shit. You fucking traitors of humanity. You cowards. Sick in Alaska seal concentrated where Fukushima radioactive plume made landfall. See? There's another side to every story. Dana never made it all the way over, Dan. It's just fear-mongering. Fucking fear-mongering. See? Never made it over, Dana. Look at the models from France and everywhere else. You didn't make it, Dana. Okay, you got me. That's the last I'll ever say of it. Little green starlight, highly contaminating, marine snow covered the seafloor. At least 2,000 kilometers from Fukushima by July 2011. Game over. Game over. That was it. That was the end of the planet when we done that. That's the problem. That's the result. And then just all these extra noises. Just one of those days. I probably screwed up the audio. Audio was probably coming out the other end just shit. Who cares? I'm still going strong. Let's keep moving. Contamination levels not declining off Japan. Fukushima reactor site leaking. It's leaking into the ocean. So do you want to understand how stupid that statement is? It's coming out in the atmosphere and it's all falling into the ocean anyway. The whole ocean is covered to one time symmetrically. No matter what's wherever it's to, it has to live in that environment. Even if it doesn't absorb it, it's still being irradiated. If there's a radioactive atom here, like right here where my hand is on my hand right now, I can read it on the Geiger counter on the other side of my head. You know why? Because that's how it works. Certain radiation, like fuel rods, could be 10 feet of fucking cement and steel. Don't matter. You walk by, start melting your organs. That's why they only send the homeless, the destitute, the immigrants, and everybody else in. Instead of Harvard and Yale and Berkeley and all the other institutions. Trust me, I know. I pay attention. I've been paying attention for a very long time. as everybody knows. We know contamination from Fukushima reactor still seeping. People who say those fucking words should have a big chunk of their hair pulled out of their friggin' head by their bosses. See, it's not me. Their bosses should do it. I'm not saying for people to go out and do it. I'm saying for the boss to rein them in. You don't have to. It's a metaphor. Political hyperbole. Not calling for violence, even though they call for violence against me all the time. The trolls call for violence against me and claim that I'm violent all the time because I say that lawyers should be punished, that lawyers should be held accountable, that the crazies, the mass murderers, should be held to a higher standard. We know contamination from Fukushima reactors is still seeping into the ocean. People say the word seeping. I like to seep something down their fucking throat. Begins with radiation. Continuing radioactive leaks from Fukushima Daiichi. Another fucking idiot. Leaks. Yeah, 300 tons a day leaks being sucked up. 300 billion becquerels a month of this and these numbers are nothing, 300 billion becquerels. Just fucking, that's like a gram. There's 88 times 37 billion becquerels per gram. Oh, damn, there's could be up to 300,000 becquerels, like a fucking gram a month is going into the ocean. If you said it to me in front of me, I'd pull your sweater over your head and feed you uppercut. Like a good Canadian hockey player, you know? It's just a metaphor. I'm not strong enough to do it to anybody. I'm not healthy enough to do it to someone. I'm not physically capable of fucking threatening somebody because they can just move a couple of feet away from me. Anybody can walk away from me, but I can't run away or walk away from anybody. Contamination from Fukushima is almost irreversible. Jesus, we got study after study after study after study over the years. You look at all the fucking dog studies, that tells you what it's like I showed you earlier. Top scientists suggest contaminated water activity being pumped out into the ocean. That's a better word. Pumping out of there, man. I'm pumping water in, it pumps out. See, I can live with that one. I wouldn't get all upset and freak out. But just tell me that there's a fucking gram a month going into the ocean. 6 melter reactors in each building. There's maybe a gram getting loose, Dana. The buildings are like fucking indestructible material, Dana. They got them made out of the most precious metal on the entire friggin' planet, Dana. There's no positively, unequivocally, no way that ain't got in that fucking building. And if it did, it was probably a gram a month or something, Dana. How the fuck could it get out? Look at it, Dana. It's perfectly symmetrical. Both of those buildings are perfect, Dana. There's no way it can get out, Dana. Maybe a gram a month, Dana. Top activists suggest nuclear scientists should be fucking prosecuted and put into hard labor camps for the rest of their fucking life and should have to lose their kids immediately and lose their pensions and everything else. Lose their tenors, lose their fucking ability to speak as an academic. They should be disavowed by the institution that gave them their degrees. Every one of them. Because we know they're all liars. We know there's nothing because none of them come out and tell you about Unit 4 was a fake. Not the fucking one of them. So don't tell me there's good people out there because there's not. Not a fucking one of them have come out and said Unit 4 is fake. Not one of them said to come out and said that building there, that this is not inside of that. That's all it took. All you had to have one of the big shot celebrity fucking activists come out and say, hey, that is not inside of that. Game over for them. That's all it took. Helen Caldicott had to come out and say, look, everybody, I'm not an expert, but I know that for a fact that inside of that building, this don't exist. Therefore, that picture that TEPCO is showing everybody and everybody's talking about is a lie. That's all you got to do. That's all Ernie Gunnarsson have to do. Come out and say, look, that picture don't exist inside of that. Game over for TEPCO. All Chris Busby got to do is come out and say, look, that don't exist inside of that. That's all any nuclear scientist, any advocate, any activist got to come out and fucking say over and over and over every day, all week long, till the end of fucking time was that don't exist inside of that, and you blow the whole lid off their entire fucking story.
Of the decommissioning work
Instead, you let him get away.
Here in
Instead, you let him pretend that he's inside of a building that don't exist, that do not exist inside of that building. And the people who say that it does, will be held accountable. The people that went out there in the media and said that's the biggest threat on mankind and that they finally got all the fuel out of it, never told the world, hey, by the way, that's not real. Hey, by the way, that's not fucking real, so stop doing it. Not the one of them. Not a fucking one of them. And it's not like they don't know. Not like I haven't been at this now for about 2 years straight, talking about this goddamn piece of fucking shit, stupid, idiotic, moronic, dipstick, fucking activists on this planet can't come out and fucking help me. That I'm the only person on the planet that says, hey, wait a second, there might be something fucking strange here. No. Nobody will come out and say that that and that are not the fucking same. And I wouldn't have to do what I do all the time. I wouldn't have to do this every fucking day. I wouldn't get to the point where I scream in agony and misery. Because we got nobody on the planet will fucking do it. So hard to do that, right? That is so fucking difficult to do what I just done. It's so difficult to come out and say, yeah, that's probably not inside of that one there. They're probably lying. How fucking hard is that? Well, because now all of a sudden all the media are lawyers, right? All the apologists, all the government agencies that propagated that lie that looked like that. This is 3 months ago. Listen to it and calm down.
And
this is TEPCO at the Washington Press Club in Washington,
right
D.C.
after
3
the
months
accident,
ago.
It was, of course,
It's
the emergency condition. But right now, gradually became the decommissioning stage, more stable decommissioning stage. And that's that, as I mentioned, the success.
So all you had to do was, anybody out there, all you had to do was clip that and say, look, folks, he says it's inside of that. That's the end of it. That's the end of their lie. I wouldn't have to fight every day, day in, day out. And people attack me all the time for telling you that. I'm constantly, relentlessly, I'm defunded, everything else. I don't even care anymore. I don't even care anymore. I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. But I'm the bad person because I'm the only person on the planet telling you that. That is not fucking, no matter, I don't give a fuck who you are, shut your fucking pie hole. It's not inside of that building, okay? That building there is not inside of that wrecked fucking reactor. Yeah, I'm swearing. Yeah, I'm cursing. Yeah, I'm pissed off. I'm fucking upset, trust me. You wouldn't want to be pissing me off right now. Not that I can do anything to you, but it's just, you wouldn't want to have me in a conversation on TV about this because I would snap right now. I'm sure I'd collect myself up. But I'm so fucking sick of it. 2 years, and nobody repeats it. Nobody says, hey, Dana's wrong. Hey, Dana's fucking stupid. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Dana thinks that building is not inside of that. What is Dana fucking stupid or what? Dana can't look at that and say, for Christ's sake, you know goddamn well that is inside of that. How could it not be, man? Dorn said it was.
Commissioning work taking place.
Miles O'Brien said it was. I showed you 7 journalists that actually physically went inside the reactors and showed themselves inside of that, including, like I just showed you, TEPCO fucking 3 months ago. All of them saying they're inside of this building. And we can't get anybody out there to understand that that's game over for their law. We just knocked it right out of the water with that simple 2 fucking pictures. We can't get anybody to pick up the fucking ball and walk with it. Any popular person out there won't do it. Are we that fucking stupid? Are we that? Is everybody bought and paid for, or is everybody stupid? Well, everybody must be bought and paid for. They're not going to come out and fucking tell you the truth. They're not going to come out and say, look, you don't have to mention, I'm not saying mention my name, Dana's right. Not that that would hurt. Not that that would be wrong. Not that that is a bad fucking thing. It's okay to mention your name, but fuck Dana. Don't mention his fucking name, the work he done. Fuck him, 260 days on the coastline. The arrogant prick out there showing there's an extinction event on the coastline. Don't mention none of that either while you're at it. No. Don't show the struggles, the horror of fucking 260 days being attacked relentlessly. No, don't show that. Back to Dana, baby. like a little interlude. So it turns out, it don't matter what I do, that's not going to work anymore. We'll have the other camera back tomorrow. We'll put the other camera back tomorrow. We'll give up the pipe dream of the HDMI, even though I like that better. I can use it for green screen and for shooting little videos, so it'll be a better, and anybody's not familiar with that, I'll play one little clip so you can kind of appreciate the things I'm trying to do. Just got to find, well, the audio is still bad on these clips. Let me see if I can get this one. Who knows what this is, so let me keep going. All he said was it wasn't like a banana or a potato chip or walking in the sunshine. This is kind of severe punishment, isn't it? Yeah, that was tough audio that time. My apologies. That wasn't supposed to happen. Well, I got the extension cord, but I don't know where to plug it in. If we don't plug it in the next 18 hours, we're going to lose all those reactors. If they survive the tsunami. I don't know how they could have survived the tsunami, but they say get an extension cord and plug it in. I don't know where to plug it in. I can't find any receptacles. Can you help? Do you see one? I can't find it. I think there's one down here somewhere. I'll go check and I'll get back to you later, okay? All right. And so, yeah, the HDMI will give me a better assimilation into... so a proper camera, I'll be able to insert myself into a Hollywood movie, pump the movie back out there, and you'll never know that I wasn't supposed to be there unless you know me personally. Right? And you say, hey, that's Dana. He's not supposed to be there. I could be in the background. I can assimilate myself perfectly into the background if I want to. I can't do it now because I don't have the quality for the video, but I can handle 4,000K cameras with equipment. So at some point when I get to it, then I'll really be able to do these 3Ds. Now I got the audio worked out. Kinda. But it's much better anyway. So the audio will be much better as I start doing more of that. I'm just going to give it up now because I'm cranky. I get cranky every time I talk about this. Every time I talk about that, how we went out, instead of looking like this, incredible, unbelievable, unimaginable, just an amazing, inconceivable diversity. And this was all up at Louise Narrows. That's a picture of my GPS. I was right on the shore. There was nothing left. It was naked. That's what it should be like before and after. Behind me is after. But this is what it should be like. Not like this, see? And this is what we know it looks like. These are, and I've been there when they looked like that, and every millimeter was jostling with life, and instead we have an extinction event. This is what it looks like currently. This was from last year. So normally it was just this incredible diversity. Every millimeter was jostling. Now it was very low tide, and I'm going to come over and say good day to everybody at the same time. We'll call it a show. Remember, there's 8 million species. This is the same spot. These are pictures from that spot. And so when you go ashore now, it's naked, and it will be for next millions of years. And the mountains don't have any snow in them throughout the coastline, any ice pack, rather, that's gone. The insects, the birds are devastated, obviously. Once you took out the habitat, but look at the colors. Look at that diversity. Look at that amazing, where you just come ashore anywhere and it's just this incredible smorgasbord of life. See, the other 4.2 million species didn't recede the coastline, right? This is what it looked like pre-Fukushima. This whole area is coveted, very low tide right there. We'll come over and say, good day to everybody, hugs for everybody, and we'll call it a day. I got a little excited there earlier. The Geiger counter up in the top hand corner, 185, 67 counts per minute. Enter CJ. Be strong. Rifle Stalker. Fix it. William. Elaine. Shanikin. Shani. 100 tunes. Hi, everybody. And Radical. Radical's got a book out, folks. Go check her out. Radical Home Goddess. If you don't, well, you'll see it on the video later if you're watching this, obviously. If you're listening to me, you'll see it. You can find it that way. Fukushima Exposed. Nathan. And Graham, Elaine, Amthurst, Candace, and everybody. I know Jan is out there somewhere. Lonnie is out there. And that's for her. There's all kinds of links. Thomas is out there the last couple of times. I missed him. Thomas Ackerman. You'll find links below to a lot of these people. And I'm just running through it. Nobleness, Neil. I just want to make sure I get as many people before I give it up. Because all these comments will be gone after YouTube renders the video and pops it back up. Hi, Karen. Thanks, Karen. CJ Shoddy. Fix it. Elaine. Good care. Hi, everybody. Once again, soccer. Well, boric acid and lead, they should have, yeah. Well, Chernobyl was different. It conscripted 600 soldiers. And in Japan, they didn't, right? So they sent them to their death. It's a death sentence. 600 pilots died going in there. Thank you, everybody. Hugs, everybody. Graham, just make sure I got Tom. And anybody I didn't get. That's the way this stream went. Kiss. Hugs for everybody. We'll talk to everybody tomorrow. And next time I'm going to miss the stream, I'll try to put out a little blurb so everybody knows what's going on. Take care, folks. We'll see everybody tomorrow on September the 10th, 2016. Today's the 9th.